Now, if you look at some of your clothes in your wardrobe and you think that used to look really good on me, I used to feel really good in that, and for some reason it doesn't feel right anymore, you're not alone. Today, I have got lots of tips and tricks on what colours, styles, fabrics will aid you, which ones to avoid, and what to think about as an alternative. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Barra. I have been a personal stylist for 26 years, dressing celebrities and private clients. I'm here to help you build a wardrobe that mixes and matches easily. Now, before I go on, just very quickly, if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, comment below, share with your friends. All of that genuinely helps me and other real content creators like me, because the threat of AI and the AI videos that are coming out at the moment are having a real impact on our content. So I appreciate that in advance. Thank you so much. So first up is colour. Now, colour can make a huge difference. Now, there's lots of reasons for this. One is that your skin can become a little bit more sallow and paler, so can your eyes, particularly if you decide to embrace the grey. Some of those colours, even if you had a colour palette done before, won't work anymore. If you're interested in this and want to look at this in a little bit more detail, particularly about embracing grey and how you can kind of adapt your colour palette to your grey hair, definitely have a look at my video from last week, which goes into much more detail. But essentially, some of the bright, very vibrant colours will feel too strong. Some of the muted, very subtle colours will make you feel too washed out. Now, the reason for this is because what changes, you often lose a little bit of the vibrancy, you often lose a little bit of the depth of the colour, and often as well, particularly if you decide to embrace the grey, what can happen is that your overall look becomes a little bit cooler. So all of that has an impact on your palette. So you might find the very vibrant, bright, fluorescent colours feel too much. You might also find that the very muted, dull, neutral colours also feel a little bit draining. So what you want to do is go somewhere in between. Generally, the dual colours can work really well, like a burgundy or a mauve instead of a bright red, or a royal blue instead of a bright blue, or maybe it's an icy blue. Emerald green works really well rather than a bright green, or maybe a sage, or maybe an olive. All of those colours can usually, in most cases, work really well. Now, if you want a more personalised advice on this, definitely book in for a discovery call with me. I'll put the link here and also in the notes, because every single one of you will be different. But essentially what I'm trying to say to you is, if you look at your palette now and it doesn't quite feel right, you're right. You're not going mad. It has changed, and the likelihood is some colours won't quite feel right. So have a look at some of the suggestions that I've made, hold them up against your face, maybe when you're shopping, or if you've got something in your wardrobe, and see what feels better now, because it could be a little bit different to what it was before. Now, next up is fabric. Now, fabric can definitely aid you straight away, and it can also make you look quite uncomfortable. And I think it can make a huge difference overall to your overall look. So some of the things that you want to avoid that really thin jersey that clings to absolutely everything. Now, nearly everybody, once they reach around 50, have put on a little bit of weight somewhere. It's very, very normal. You're not alone. You're also probably not looking as bad as what you think it is. I've lost count the amount of times that people have come to me and they're like, oh, you know, I've got this and I look like this and I feel really uncomfortable. It's never as bad as they think it is. Never, 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 never. But what we don't want to do is emphasize those areas you're already not very confident about. So what we want to do is draw attention elsewhere. So having very thin jersey is one of the worst things you could do. A light thin jersey is even worse, and a light shiny thin jersey is one of the worst things you could possibly wear. It will cling to those lumps and bumps. It will highlight them. You might as well just have two big neon signs or two big neon arrows going, look at here, here's my tummy. Does everybody want to see it? Or a little, sign above, because that is what it will do. So we want to avoid that. We also want to avoid things that have got pilling on them, or they look worn, because all of that, what that says as well, is I'm sure when you were younger, you spent a little bit more time on your appearance and how you felt about things and how you felt about your look. And if you've got things that look worn, it looks like you don't care anymore. And I want you to care. I don't want you to necessarily spend ages on it. I don't want it to overwhelm you. I don't want you to feel like you have to dress up to some awful standard, but I do want you to care about yourself. So if you've got jumpers that have got pilling on them, get one of those little shavers. If I forget, someone remind me, I'll put the link to this in the notes of one that I use, and just shave that pilling off. It can happen quite frequently, particularly if you've got a jumper with natural fibres in it, or it's a natural and man-made mix, because the natural fibres are shorter than the man-made fibres, so they tend to work to the surface. So that can happen quite a lot. So definitely do that. Obviously, make sure things are steamed or pressed. That can make a huge difference. All of this is really obvious, but I think what it indicates to people is that you've given up, and I don't want you to give up. Like I say, I don't want you to spend ages over it. I don't want you to feel pressured. I don't want you to feel like you got into a certain box, but I also don't want you to give up. So avoid those jersey fabrics, avoid the shiny fabrics, and avoid anything that looks too worn. You know, do something to it so it looks better. You know, even if it's something that's faded a little bit, maybe you can get it dyed, or you can dye it, something like that. So what you want to go for instead is, if you need to wear something that's comfortable, like a jersey fabric, go for something that's got a little bit more structure to it, something that's a little bit of a heavy weight. Now, when you buy t-shirts, for example, they do have different weights, so it will tell you what weight it is. So that is usually better. Something that's got a higher weight will make a big difference. Also go for dark and go for matte colours. That will hide a lot of that, so you can still wear those things and still be comfortable with them. But if you're not going for those lighter, brighter or shinier colours, it won't cling and it won't cause that issue. So fabric makes a huge difference. If you don't feel like you like to be trussed up, you don't have to be, but maybe go for a mixture of tailored and also relaxed. And if you did that, to be honest, you'd be bang on trend this season, because a lot of that is about tailored dressing, but also very relaxed as well. So something that's not too structured. So if you are one of these people that go, oh, I don't like anything tight around my waist, or I want to be able to move, you're absolutely fine. Now, silhouettes that age you, these are kind of harping back from what I've said before, but there's two main things I think in this category. One is where you have clothing that's very, very clingy, that's showing knicker lines, that's showing all the lumps and bumps, etc., and exaggerating them, essentially. We want to avoid that. Now, there's no reason why you can't choose fitted clothing. I've worked with plenty of women, both celebrities and private clients, who are well over 60, who wear bandage dresses and fitted dresses, and they look absolutely fabulous. But the way in which they do it is usually maybe they have control underwear underneath, but they basically do it so the fabric's more structured or whatever it is, so that we don't see those lines, we don't see all those lumps and bumps. There is nothing wrong with you being shapely, there's nothing wrong with you having a tummy, but what we want to do is make you look the best. So essentially as well, and this is really, really important, I think, it doesn't matter what size you are, and it doesn't matter what shape you are, but we want to make the most of what you got, and we don't want to be drawing attention to knicker lines and things like that, because that then makes it look like you don't care as much, and it's like you do want to care. So that's the first one, is really fitted fabrics. A little bit like I was talking about with the jersey, it's a similar kind of concept. The other one is wearing clothes that are way too baggy. Now, this is probably the most common thing that I see, is women will wear clothes that are really baggy because they want to cover up their bottom, or they want to cover up their tummy, or whatever it is. So they wear things that are really baggy. It makes them just go straight up and down. The most common one I see is they will wear jumpers or sweaters and they'll pull them right down onto their hip. And if they've got a bit of weight on their bottom and they've got a bit of weight on their tummy, it just makes them look like that, like wide like that, straight up and down. We definitely want to avoid that. I know some of you will say to me, oh, but I want to hide my bum, I don't like the way my bum feels. Putting a big bright pink jumper over it is not going to help it. So what we want to do is think about how we can adjust that. So the best thing to do would be jewellery, detailing, collars, anything that draws the eye up here, right? So anything that's brighter, draw it up here. If it's this area you're not happy with, then draw all the attention here. Wear a beret like me if you like hats, you know, something that draws the attention away. It does make a difference what body shape you are, but keep the bottom half matte, dark, and skim the body. Don't make it too tight, don't make it too baggy. And if you want to, you could, most of the time, if you have a wide or a straight leg that hangs straight down from the hip, then that doesn't mean that you get so much of that shape if you have got a bit of a bottom as as well. So really, we really want to think about the structure of our fabrics. Now, it's really good as well to have some tailoring in there somewhere. One of the tailoring items that works really well is either a tailored coat or a tailored jacket. Now, with women, usually there are two lines that go down the back of the jacket, which will go like that, okay, and come out. Now that is your best friend. If you have a jacket like that, whatever type of shape you are or how much weight you've put on, it looks structured, it looks like you've put effort in, it looks very sophisticated, and yet it gives you the right shape. So having a jacket with those marks at the back will make a difference. What you don't want is something that's straight up and down. So silhouettes are really important as well. Also, what I want to say on this one, don't be afraid to go into shops which you think you wouldn't buy from. I am over 50 and I still go into Topshop. It's come back now, so it was away for a while, but it's come back. I still go into Topshop because I still see things I like, and why shouldn't I? So you might not agree, you might go into some of these shops and you think, oh, well, I don't like anything here, and that's absolutely fine as well. You go where you feels right, but don't be afraid to. Don't think you can't go into that shop, because I can almost guarantee you that probably 50% of what's in there you've already worn at some point. You've already been there and done it. You know exactly how to wear that item. You could walk around there and tell all those youngsters exactly how to do it. So don't be afraid of doing that and mixing it up with other things that feel more right for you. So what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to include some contemporary pieces into your wardrobe in addition to what you feel is more appropriate, or whatever that label is. I don't even agree with any of those labels, if I'm honest, but feels right for you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. What feels right for you, but don't be afraid to put in some contemporary pieces in there as well. Now, if you are struggling for this and you feel like you're on your own and you've lost your way, for the price of a coffee, $4.99 a month, you can come and join my VIP community here on YouTube. You get access, direct line to me once a month, where I come on live a little bit like I did in my Capsule Wardrobe Challenge at the beginning of the year. And you can send me questions. We have a little chat, it's live. You get exclusive access to special offers. You get all of my offers first before anybody else. So if that's something you think you might enjoy, click the link here or in the notes, and I'd love to welcome you to my little VIP community and help you reach your wardrobe goals. Now, next up is hair and makeup. Now, having done this channel, people always have loads of opinions, particularly on my hair. Oh, you need to cut your hair, or I'm not listening to you because you haven't cut your hair. Well, okay, bye. Because I like my hair the way it is. So what I would say to you is, don't be afraid of updating in whatever way feels right for you. If it feels right for you to have long hair, you have your long hair. If it feels right for you to have short hair, you have your short hair. All I will say is just maintain it one way or another. So whether it's just that you look at products that maybe control the frizz, mine's got a lot more frizzy as I've got older, you know, just think about that as well. And also your makeup will likely change as well. Now, one person that I can refer you to, there's a friend of mine, Donna May London. If you look on Instagram for her, she does lots of videos on hair and makeup about growing out the grey, etc., etc. So if you're looking for somebody who is much more in our age group, who talks about that factor all the time, she's a really good person to follow. Now, next up, one of the biggest giveaways, I think, in terms of aging and how it can make you look aged, and that is posture. Now, I want every single one of you to stand nice and tall. Now, if you can't stand tall, go and do some yoga and Pilates or something like that so that you can stand tall. Don't slouch, don't hide away, don't feel like you need to hide from society. Do the complete opposite, please, because the way the world's going and the way everything is, you know, society sort of, as soon as you turn 40, it's like you disappear. So don't disappear. Stand tall, be confident. And one of the best ways you can do that is to know what feels right and what doesn't feel right on you. Now, I worked with a client a few years ago in Australia. She worked in a very male environment. She hadn't had any compliments for years. She came to me. We worked together on my signature package, which is the big package. Took a few months to do it. And I then got an email from her, photo of her about 6 months later, to say what a difference it had made, and that people had started to notice her and compliment her because she was standing differently. She was standing tall, and that can make a huge difference to how you look. So posture is massive. Now, if you do look at a lot of your wardrobe and you think it's really dated and that's why you're here, then download my capsule wardrobe blueprint. It's entirely free. I put the link here and also in the notes. And it kind of gives you an idea of how to start thinking about what to keep in your wardrobe, what to get rid of, and what you might want to replace eventually. You can fill it out as you go along. It's very basic, but it will definitely help if you're at that stage. Now, last but not least, this one is the most important factor out of everything I've said, in my personal opinion, and that's confidence. Now, I read something recently that said that the biggest group of women who unfortunately commit suicide are over 50. And I think there's personally several factors, several reasons for that. One, I feel like society ignores you. You don't see very many people that represent you anywhere in a positive way. You feel like there's this huge pressure on you to still look 20. You spent years probably bringing up children or running a career or looking after everyone else. You've had little time to think about yourself. And it could also be, which I experienced myself recently, my daughter going off to university and having been a single mum to her for 19 years. It was a huge impact on me. So there's lots of different factors that I think can get you to that point. But I would encourage you, please, have a look at my video about when you feel overwhelmed. It came out a couple of months ago, and it was at a time when I felt like I needed to do something like that, about all the little different things that I do to try and make myself feel better. But confidence is a huge part of helping you feel young and vibrant. It can make a massive difference. So please promise me, let me know in the comments if you've got any tips for this as well. Promise me that you will spend some time looking after you and your confidence, because that is the biggest part of feeling younger, looking younger, and feeling more vibrant. So I hope you found that helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know whether you agree, whether you disagree. Let me know if there's any of these things that have made you think, oh yeah, well, I'm going to have a little look at that in my wardrobe and see if that does make a difference. Have a wonderful week wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.